to be the sweet potato was a Thanksgiving only food, but nowadays it's pretty much year round because it's so high in nutrition and because it tastes so good. So I'm going to make a sweet potato and beef hash for us today. You could use other types of meat. The idea is to use leftover foods on this as far as the meat's concerned. Now generally I would use a non-stick skillet for this, but with this particular piece of cooking equipment I don't have a non-stick skillet that works it. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan in order to help hopefully prevent it from sticking too much. Then I've got one large sweet potato cut into half-inch cubes, peeled and cut into half-inch cubes, and I'm going to add that to our pan. Try and get the cubes to be as close to the same size as you can. I know that will be impossible because they come in different shapes, but they're going to cook much more evenly the more even size they are when they start going into the pan. So do your best on that one. Also going to add for flavoring a tablespoon of taco seasoning mix and a 1/4 of a cup of water. And we're just going to put the lid on the pan after we get this stirred together and let those cook until the potato is probably tender crisp. And then we're going to go ahead and add some more ingredients. So the potato could be cut up ahead of time. You can actually buy squash, which you could use in place, or potatoes sometimes in the market. So they'd be ready to go. So this, it looks like maybe it's going to take a lot of time, but it really doesn't. So this is 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the potato cubes. You can see most of the water has evaporated. There's still a little bit left, but I actually put in a little bit more than the recipe called for, which is 1/4 of a cup, because we're out here and it's quite a breeze. I'm now going to stir in about a tablespoon of oil, and this is again to help it keep from sticking, but also to add some flavor. So I'm going to scrape up some of the flavors that have gotten down there on the bottom. And also to this, which I should have added with the sweet potatoes, but I missed them, I'm going to add about a cup of finely chopped onion. And we're going to stir that in. And we're going to let this continue to cook until the potatoes are done the rest of the way, which will be somewhere between 4 to 6 minutes probably. We'll get that kind of spread out a little bit. And while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and make the topping. What we have here are 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and we're just going to stir these together and just set them aside until we're ready to actually serve the dish. And then 1 teaspoon of hot sauce, and I'll let you make the choice of how hot and which brand, and whether you want it all or whether you want 2 teaspoons. So that part's up to you. That gives you some flexibility. And just stir that together, and with this particular one, it turns into a really pretty just sort of salmon color. So that's going to look nice on the top as well. And then finally we have the beef. Now this you have a lot of options with. You could use chicken, you could use pork, you could use leftover roast, you could cook some meat specifically for this. You could also go to the deli and buy roast beef and just cut it into half-inch cubes. Any of those are great options. What you want to look at is what's the nutritional value for your needs of the choices that you make. All of them in that case are probably going to be fairly lean, but if you go to the deli products tend to be much, much higher in sodium, almost sometimes 10 times higher. So you want to look at that. If that's something you're trying to reduce, then you might want to look at another option. But again, I've cut it into cubes. If it's a leftover, you might want to just shred it. That would work too. This is a hash, and the nice thing about hash is that they have a lot of flexibility like a salad does. They're probably also one of those things that you want to eat or make at home or with someone that you know has done it, that has made it, because if you get in some other situations they may be using ingredients that you really wouldn't want in your hash, and that's happened to me because I'm such a fan that I was massively disappointed at one point. But this one is really, really good, and I hope you'll give it a try. We'll let these carrots and potatoes continue to cook for just a little bit longer. They're done when they're tender and when the potatoes are easily pierced. We'll let these onions and potatoes continue to cook a little bit. The goal here is to make sure they're completely tender when you pierce them with a fork. They're going to continue to cook just a little bit after we add the meat, but not a lot. We also want to get the carrots a little bit softer in this case, so usually 4 to 6 minutes. You can see the potatoes are just fine. They're nice and tender. So I'm going to go ahead and add the meat to it. As I said, this is roast beef in this case, but you have many options. And we're going to add that in here and stir it around a little bit. Now this has got to continue to cook just until the beef is hot. And because we've used up most of the water that was in here, it's been absorbed or evaporated, one of the two or probably both. I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. This is also going to let me get some of those good tasting bits off the bottom of the pan. So just 1 or 2 more tablespoons, and we're just going to let this cook just until the beef is hot. This is ready now. As you can see, it didn't take a lot of time to prep. A little bit of chopping time, a lot of that can be done ahead of time. This serves 4 people. It's really beautiful. It tastes absolutely fantastic, and it's really nutritious. The vitamin A content is almost off the roof. We're now going to top this with a little bit of our sauce here. Remember, there's 4 servings here, so we have to share a little bit of it. And some fresh cilantro or Italian parsley. I hope you'll try this. It really is good. It's fairly quick. It's highly nutritious, and it's so flavorful. You're just not going to believe it. This is sweet potato hash for Oklahoma Gardening. I'm Barbara Brown.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.